Hello everyone, my name is Maisie. I'm from OUM. I'm taking the courses HMEF 5042 Educational Psychology. Now I would like to present my title is Individual Differences in Learning. This is my introduction. As you can see, different people come in a different capacity. We cannot judge the performance of a goldfish by its ability to climb a tree like a monkey. Same as learning. Everyone have a different traits when facing a learning task. The learning tasks are the aptitude, willingness, style of learning, preference, and the pre-knowledge. Learning traits refer to aptitude for the learning, willingness to learn, and the style of the learning. Preference for the learning and the pre-knowledge of the student. The traits have an impact on the learning process and determine how well an individual is able to learn. Meanwhile, the learning task determines the thinking and the learning skill demanded. For an example, if a task required a learner to go beyond the information given in test, then the student will have to make or draw an inference. All these are impacting the learning process and result of the students. Despite it places a significant demand on teacher which may cause overburdening the workload of the teacher. By identifying the differences among the students, certainly promising in providing high quality education which can improve the learning capacity of students to full potential. Almost everyone has a different learning style, different personality and pure knowledge. Firstly, learning traits. Some are rarely willing to learn a new thing and would like to explore more knowledge, but some students are not. This causing the differences among the students while learning. The second one, pre-knowledge. Some students are well knowledgeable, maybe it's come from a better family background or does a lot of reading before the classes. This can also be causing them learning more faster than the others. And the third one, learning style. Some prefer in a group while some students prefer alone. Some can learn more from the tuition center, but some doesn't need it. Individual differences in students are the uniqueness persona which make them different from one another. The uniqueness of the student can be variables such as physical characteristic, intelligence level, individual preference, hobby, gender, ability, learning style, and behavior. In learning, it is crucial for the teacher to plan learning by taking account the individual differences into the consideration. In order to create a more effective learning atmosphere, it is most important to plan a learning according to the learning style and speed of the student rather than the collection of the instruction. Now, we would like to discuss the limitation and how to overcome this. Due to the teaching is normally carry one-to-many condition, normally one teacher have to handle 40 students in a class. So, tricking the individual differences of the student can impose a heavy workload on the teacher, which may lead to the degradation of the teaching process. Thus, instead of focusing on each and every single different student in a different way, I think grouping a student with a similar learning traits is encouraged. The teacher can group the student in a small group so it will become more easier in teaching the class. The class activity should be properly planned to target for the different learning groups. In accordance to the characteristic of good and power in year 1976, the student can be divided into the 5 categories. The first category is successful student, social student, dependent student, alienated student, and the last one is random student. The successful students are those who ace well in their academics and perform better than the others. The second one, the social student, are those who prefer to communicate or socialize with others while learning. They can be quite talkative most of the time. Meanwhile, the third one is dependence, students who need to constant support from the teacher. They are the attention seeker in the class. And the fourth one, the alienated students are the one who always refuse to come to class or missing during the class. The last one, the phantom student, are those shy students who feel hesitate to ask the question or seeking the help from the teacher. Now, let us discuss the grouping. The uniform personality among the students are used to group them together in order to plan for the learning will certainly enhance the learning efficiency of the student while avoiding overburden the teacher. If a general teaching method is being applied to all groups, it will certainly affect successful of the student in a negative way. Thus, the teacher has to observe and reward the individual differences of each and every student and grouping them together for easier teaching and management. Despite some cramps, the teaching environment and teaching equipment do improve the learning quality. Needless to say, even the advanced technology for teaching, when the teaching plans isn't considered about the individual differences in the student, the effect will be unable to deliver. For an example, I'm a primary school teacher who teaching the Chinese language class for standard 4. In order to tackle for different needs of the different students, some students might need to more attention than others due to the learning speed. I will grouping them to the group of the max ability and encourage communication between them. The class process speed is being turned to follow the slower in the class. Thus, everyone can follow in the class. Unfortunately, there is sometimes where the slower student might will be break some process too much. So I will give them like more extra classes or exercise to them. Due to the large number of my class, around 40 students, I cannot simply focus on one while neglecting the others. So what can I do to balance them is I will balance between the slower learning in the class and the less in the class. In order to make the learning become more fun than ever, I will carry out the different activity for almost each class to gain attention of the student in learning. The activities are mostly about the collaboration among the students to finish a lesson related to tasks. For instance, they are grouping into the group with the different ability to finish an essay for the presentation. Beside the group activity, Q&A sessions are carried out almost every 5 to 10 minutes. The priority is given to the witness student in order to make sure they are concentrate to the class all the time. After grouping the student, I will also add on some reward and punishment technique into my class. During the teaching, I found that students are more likely to concentrate in the class whenever there are some reward for the good and punishment for the bad. For an example, whenever student manage to answer the question that being asked, he or she will be rewarded with some candy or stationery. So I will bring some mechanical pencil or small cake belong to me all the times. Meanwhile, if the student unable answer the question that I asked, he or she will be punished by reread the correct answer for 5 times or sing a song in a class. So with this technique, I notice all the students can be more concentrated and more interested when I'm in the class.